So this is just a video on a little thing I picked up on eBay. All the best stuff is purchased on eBay. This is a smart meter comms hub. This one is made by Toshiba. And this is what they look like. I've put a bit of tape over the serial numbers, but that doesn't really matter. There are a couple of connection points underneath here. This one doesn't seem to be connected to anything, but this one has got a connector. And this normally lives on the top of your smart meter, like in the photograph I'll put in here now. Cool. So this one is for the southern part of the country. And this one has the external antenna connector, which is what this thing is here. If you remove the factory tape, which is quite sticky tape, remove the screw. This part comes away. It's, what is that? Can't quite tell. Hardened plastic. And you've got a SMA connector there. The screws are a couple of Phillips maybe, but we'll get those out in a second. Okay, so that was 4 of these little screws, little plastic self-tappers, nothing exciting. It's a little bit of a pain to get open. There we go. So what have we got? There's a little wire here. Okay, so inside there's another barcode. Oh, okay, this is just an RF cable, so that's... My assumption is the WAN is a connection to the cellular modem in this. So we've got a daughter board and a main board, or however you want to describe those. There's a big board and small board. There's another antenna. This is like a kind of a printed PCB type thing. Interesting. And we've got these 2 boards on top of each other. This sort of looks power supply like. This is the first time I've seen this, but you've got a couple of opto isolators here, and you've got some power supply electronics and an inductor there, a couple of diodes. So maybe this board communicates with the smart meter and is isolated from it for some reason. Maybe that's a serial TX and RX opto isolators there, perhaps. It's a big chunky fuse. Little common mode inductor, perhaps. Let's does it come apart? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so there's a little power supply there. And some huge 3-hole caps that are these are super capacitors, and they are okay. So these caps are 3 volts at 15 farads. So these would be the how can I explain this? In smart meter world, if there's a power cut, the smart meter is able to send out a sort of last message, a kind of a dying message, just to say I've had a power cut. So that's what these will be. These will store enough charge in order to do that. 3 volts, 15 farads is quite a lot of juice. So yeah, this looks to be mainly power supply. Interestingly, that connector here, that void in the meter, has both female and male sort of connectivity parts, and it looks like they're separated. The female side here looks to be on this edge of the board, And the male part here looks to be on this edge. If I had to guess, I'd say that was the power supply. Input electronics, COM mode choke, a couple of ICs. Interesting. First assumptions, there we go. Let's just look at this one. This looks a bit more to the business of things, a little bit more intelligent. So that's the other piece of plastic. There's not a lot in this in terms of weight or volume. So what have we got here? Two RF ports, we'd already seen that. Large standoff, a couple of test points and some silicon chips. As where it gets exciting. So we've got a telit modem there. No SIM card. I've not seen a SIM card yet. I would have assumed there would be one in this, but maybe not. A couple of little bits of discrete, maybe not discrete ICs there. Interestingly, there's two antennas. Two antennas there of various sizes. There's another antenna here. Curious though, these antennas do have footprints for sockets, like on this side, but they've not been populated. What else is there? Got a couple of programming headers, perhaps, and a can. Now, what's under the can? That is most certainly a cellular modem or a mobile phone modem. So, if I had to guess, this would be something for the Zigbee, the home area network that's used in smart meters. I wonder if you can just pry that up without breaking it. Nope. Okay, so with some percussive violence, you can see it's definitely an RF zone. I think we may need to go over to the microscope to finish looking at this. So we've already looked at this board in a light amount of detail. This is the communications and processor board, let's call it that. This is the front, this is the back. A couple of ICs there. You've got this cellular modem here, this mobile phone modem. Got an antenna here. There was a can here, which I've removed if you remember. And there's a smaller modem here as well. Sorry. And there's a smaller antenna here. If I had to guess, I would say that was for 900 megahertz or so. And this one was for 2.4 gigahertz. Let's have a look underneath the microscope at what's here. Okay, so let's have a look on the underside first. We have these two ICs which are directly underneath the telit modem. If I angle it correctly, it might be easier to see the text. One of them is a Volt IC, the larger one, and the other one has no markings, no manufacturer markings. Has those numbers there. I don't know if you can see those. I imagine this is used to. I imagine the Volt IC is used to store some sort of cryptic credentials, and perhaps the other one is an eSIM, because this part has no SIM card. That's all I've seen so far here. You've got the part number. You've got the connector that I've removed. There's a myriad of test pins here, and the two here and here, these are the two RF connections. And that's basically all there is to be seen on this side of the PCB. So this is the top side PCB. Again, we're looking at the header here. If we start in the extreme left, That's the bottom of the modem. There's a little IC here that I believe is maybe a type of amplifier or RF switch. It is located next to the cellular antenna here. That's this long structure. Then you have the telet modem. We've already seen this. We have this little thing here, which is, I don't know if you can see that, but it's a UM3204QS. We have this chip here, which again the text is rather hard to read on. There's a header here, which I assume is used for programming, or may have at one point been used for programming. It's not populated. There's a little 4-pin device down there. Judging by the ferrite beads, I would say this is a power supply of some kind. You've got another header here. Now this area here, surrounded by these solder contacts, is the RF area for the, I think it is the home area network, the one that sits at about 800 megahertz. We've got a TI-CC1200 IC here. And to the north we've got a CC1190, again by TI. This looks to be incredibly sensitive, otherwise they wouldn't have bothered putting a can over it, as you saw earlier. And we've got a non-populated antenna connector here. However, I think the circuit most certainly is used, though it's just not populated part of it. Then we have this IC here. This is an EM357, which I believe is an ARM core processor with built-in Zigbee. A little crystal to the side. You can see this differential pair here to this IC. I assume this is some sort of RF front end. And then you've got here a much smaller antenna, so this is most certainly for 2.4 gigahertz. And that's all there really is to see at the minute. You've got a feed-through cap there. So let's have a look at the block diagram now and see what there is to see. Now do note, I've put this together, it's not the true block diagram. Feel free to pause this if you want a more detailed view about what's in front of you. This is the bill of materials listing out all the parts and including the ones I couldn't find any information about online. That's what I really have to show to you. I hope you've enjoyed watching this video and maybe you've learned something about smart meters you didn't know before. And yeah, please subscribe if you like what you see and you want things similar to this in the future. Have a nice day.